name's Nami, and I went on my first solo trip to the Philippines, and it was fantastic. This is episode 5, so if you haven't seen episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, I suggest going and checking those out. Kind of a storyline going on, but do as you wish. Either way, links are down below. Anyway, if you like travel videos and stories and travel stories, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my Instagram page if you like those things. Also, I'm just letting you know I don't have as much footage in this video as my other videos because at this point in my trip I wasn't filming as much. So if you're expecting a vlog with lots of footage of the Philippines, this is not that. But I still hope you can find my stories and minimal footage enjoyable. Oh yeah, and please stay tuned to the end or skip ahead to here because I have some questions for you. Okay? Okay, now let me pick up where I left off. After going on a boat tour in Coron, I did a tricycle tour the next day just to see some of the beaches that they had there. It was really nice and peaceful just to have a day to myself beach hopping. I still cannot get over how sparkly the water is in the Philippines. At the end of the tour, I went to a hot spring and I got there around, I don't know, 4 p.m. so I didn't have to deal with the crowd that comes later. I was kind of coming down with a cold also, so this hot spring was just perfect for that. And to finish it off, I spent my last night in Coron just simply admiring this absolutely beautiful sunset at the rooftop of Pop Hostel. The next day I took a ferry ride back to Elnido, which was surprisingly much less horrific than the ferry ride I took to Coron. At first I was like, but at the end I was like. Anyway, I made some friends in Coron who were also going to Elnido the same day as me, so we actually took the ferry ride there together. They stayed at Outpost hostel and I stayed at a little hostel called the Cavern, which was like a 10-minute walk from Outpost hostel. My hostel is for those who want peace and quiet. Outpost hostel is for those of you who want to party and mingle. Anyway, I was hanging out with Allie and she suggested that I book a tour that she was going on through Outpost hostel. It looked fun, you know, had beaches I hadn't been to before. So I booked it. And then I hung out at Outpost hostel for the rest of the night and I met this really cool girl named Veronica from Sweden who was also going on that tour the next day. Just a warning, the story is mildly provocative, including talk of female body parts and alcohol. Just a heads up for any parents with kids watching this video. Okay, moving on. Next morning I had to wake up bright and early and walk over to Outpost hostel to get on the tour boat. I thought, oh, this will be nice and chill, go around, see some beaches. You know, it'll probably be the same or similar to the other tours that I've been on. It was, a little different. Little did I know it was going to be a booze cruise. I don't even think the tour guides knew how boozy this cruise was going to be. So we had to take a 5-minute little boat ride on this little boat to get to the bigger tour boat. Once we were all on board, you got to see everyone who was on the tour, and there were a few characters. First, the tour guide was hilarious. He had this long flowing hair and this little man bun tied at the top of his head and this little tank top. He was like, hello, I'll be your tour guide today. Then he explained about the tour and said, thank you for being here. And then he starts dancing all sexy, like, and then he'd point at someone and start dancing all sexy while keeping full eye contact. It was borderline weird, but more hilarious than anything. And then some really loud music started playing on the boat, and this is where we meet Marine Barbie. A woman from America who apparently used to be in the Marines, maybe early 40s, blonde, very tan, very fit, probably had some Botox done. She didn't look bad, to be honest. Oh yeah, and she had rather large fake breasts. They will make their debut later in this story. But all that to say is just for your visual reference. Anyway, Marine Barbie jumped up and grabbed onto a post in the middle of the boat and then started stripper dancing on it. And then the tour guide comes over and starts stripper dancing with her. And now they're both stripper dancing together. The next thing you know, someone breaks out a bottle of rum from I don't even know where, and people started getting turned. And it was only 9 a.m. in the morning. Even the tour guides at one point, as crazy and hilarious as they are, were like, okay guys, don't drink too much before lunch, okay? Anyway, the boat starts moving and our first stop was this beautiful island called Snake Island. It was absolutely beautiful there. It's like this really narrow, long sandbar that's just kind of surrounded by really shallow blue ocean water. Veronica and I hung out, took pictures, and then we went to this little beach area and just talked for a really long time. And then we heard our boat blow the whistle for lunch and we headed back. We were the last ones to get back, and once we were on board, everyone on the boat was like in a commotion, chatting with one another and looking like worried and shook. We were like, okay, what happened? So apparently, a Chinese man from another tour almost drowned to death, and then a Dutch guy from our tour had to dive into the water and fish him out, and then Marine Barbie had to give him CPR to bring him back to life. And now Marine Barbie was sat in the boat with a rum bottle in one hand, just downing it. She was like, I just saved a man's life. Okay, I need a drink. I am not about to see another dead body on my trip. I need a drink. I was thinking, yes, okay, you saved a man's life. You do need a drink. But I don't know if you need a whole bottle, though. So after that and lunch, we were off to the next beach, which we couldn't really get off at because the waves were too strong. So everyone just kind of stayed on the boat. So some people started playing beer pong or rum pong. And they were getting kind of loud and rowdy. And their hype level was about, like, I don't know, 10 notches above mine. So my introvertedness started kind of kicking in, and I crawled over onto the outside ledge of the boat and just lied down, basking in the sun, away from it all. It was really nice and peaceful, actually, and I was just chilling. And then Marine Barbie showed up, standing over me, one hand holding a post and the other hand holding a bottle of rum. And she swings around and looks at me and then says rather drunkenly, "You're bored. Don't be bored, okay? I'm here for you." And I said, okay. And then she says, "Don't be bored." And I said, I'm not bored. I'm just relaxing, you know, enjoying the sun and the water by myself. I'm good. And then she says, "I know you're doing your solo thing, and like, you're good." Okay. "But I just want you to know that I don't like seeing people bored or left out, okay? I'm here for you, girl. If you need anything." "You want some?" Offering me her bottle of rum, which I kindly rejected. And she was like, "Okay." Look, and started chugging it herself, and then proceeded to sexy dance on the post, which was like right over me. She was very coordinated for a drunk person, I'll give her that. I think she meant well, but she was just kind of loopy and drunk as heck. But the end of the trip, the finale, featuring Marine Barbie, is what really made this tour memorable. So at the end of the tour, we had to get off the big boat onto smaller boats, which take us back to the hostel, which only takes about 5 minutes by boat. As 10 of us are getting into the small boat, I see Marine Barbie march up to the very tip of the big tour boat and just stand there looking very determined, gazing into the distance. I was like, what is she thinking? And then suddenly she dives right into the water and starts swimming her way back to shore without taking the small boat. Some were horrified, probably for her safety, and others were trying not to laugh. But she was just going for it, like full strokes. And then she started doing backstrokes. And as I'm watching her in the distance, I noticed something looks odd and very wobbly. Then I realized her bikini top had flipped up and her boobs were out. Her big ol' fake boobs were just out, bobbling around aggressively for everyone to see. And I remember saying just like this, "Uh-oh, I think her boobs are out." And everyone looked a little closer and started chuckling or trying to divert their eyes. And then someone, you know who you are, burst out laughing and said, "Well, at least we don't have to worry about her drowning. She has her own floaties." I laughed at that comment. I am sorry, it was funny. And then what made it even more ridiculous is that Marine Barbie started swimming in the wrong direction with her boobs still fully out, and she almost ran into these two older men in a canoe who took one look to see what was coming in their direction and then started paddling in the opposite direction when they realized what it was. Oh, I laughed so hard. Oh my gosh. But the poor tour guides, you know, it was too much for them because they had to be concerned with people's safety, right? So once we got back to shore, someone asked the tour guide, "Oh, how was the tour?" And he said, "Sometimes you have good tours, and sometimes you have tours like this one." Once everyone was back to Outpost Hostel, about 10 minutes later, we see Marine Barbie walking along the beach with her bikini top on, holding a little puppy right between her boobs, stroking its head, and she says, "Gosh, I thought the shore was a lot closer, but like it took me forever to get back." I guess no one told her yet that she was going in the wrong direction the whole time. And then she was like, "Well, I'm gonna go take a shower and wash my vagina out because I'm gonna get laid tonight." Oh my goodness. Well, you know, that was the weirdest and most entertaining tour I've ever been on in my entire life. Anyway, to end the night, Veronica and I went out and had pizza at the same place I had pizza with Ina in episode 3. And then we danced the night away at this pretty groovy club, and you know I love to dance. The next day I did a tricycle beach tour around Elnido because I wanted to see Knock Pond Beach for the last time, and I got to see it. And then after Knock Pond Beach, I went to Leo Beach.
I'm at Leo Beach right now with a cold. It's quite nice, but it's a little dirty in comparison to Knock Pond Beach, which is where I was just at. Still nice though.
One thing that was really awesome though was that there were these little cute tiny crabs that were running around the beach digging holes and stuff. Woo! I do love my critters. Anyway, I wasn't expecting much, but when the sun started to set, oh my god, I was just mesmerized. The sun was setting and you could see the rays of the sun coming from behind the mountain, and the water was so still with subtle little waves that would just break at the shore, and the soft oranges and pinks of the sunset just reflected so vividly off of the water. It was beautiful, man. I remember just standing up and walking to the water and staring at the sunset until it just set completely. This was the last moment on my trip where it felt like time had stopped. I had no internet. My phone had actually died anyway at this time, but I couldn't care less. I didn't have anyone to meet. I didn't have any schedules to keep. Another great thing about solo travel is that you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. And all I wanted to do was just stand there and watch the sunset. Anyway, next day I had to make my way back to Thailand. And let me tell you, I was not ready. If I had the money, I would have stayed longer. I loved what I was experiencing in the Philippines, and oh my God, if you allow yourself to, you can learn so much about yourself when you put yourself outside of your comfort zone. And boy, did I learn a lot. I've changed my whole entire life around after this trip, but that's a whole other conversation. First, I'm doing a Q&A, so if you have any questions about anything that you would like me to answer, please ask me down below in the comments or on Instagram or in a post that I'm about to post on YouTube. And I will try to respond to as many of them as possible in a Q&A video. Second, I have a question for those of you who are from the Philippines or whoever has been to Manila. I'm having a really long layover in Manila very soon. My flight lands at like 11 p.m. and then I have to catch my flight out of Manila around 7 p.m. the next day. So what should I do within this big time gap? I know nothing about Manila. Any suggestions would be highly appreciated. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end. If you are still here, I appreciate you. And I am like genuinely sad that this is the last video I have of my solo trip to the Philippines. I went on such a nostalgic ride editing these videos, but hopefully there'll be more Philippines videos in the future. Not hopefully, there will be. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you very soon in my next video.